Hello everybody, so here we are now, we are in our final session now. This is it, this is what we've been building up to from week one. We are doing our steady run of 30 minutes today. So let's get going with the warm up if you haven't already started walking. A nice slow walking pace, and then as we make our way through the next 4 minutes, we're going to gradually increase the pace. And then for the final minute, we'll reduce the pace to a slower walking speed, preparing ourselves to start with our steady run of 30 minutes. So I just wanted to do a very big thank you to everybody who has taken part in this last 8 weeks and taken part in all these sessions. I hope you have found this beneficial and that you have progressed to where you have got to now. So well done, you have done really well. Just looking back through the weeks, it's really good to revisit just to help motivate you and show you where you've come from and how you've progressed. Now, one of the most important things that you need to consider now is what you're going to do after this 8 weeks is finished. It's really important that you keep going. Don't stop where you've got to. Let's just try and keep some training sessions going, because if you stop, you will eventually go back to where you were before. So please try and keep your fitness level as high as you can to maintain what you have worked so hard to achieve. So by doing so, you can revisit some of these sessions in this 8-week program. Or I do have another podcast, so just look at Simon Minting Audio Training, available as a podcast on various different podcast platforms. So please check that out. And there's lots of other sessions that you can do. So let's just keep your fitness level up and sustain what you have achieved. So we're coming up to 2 minutes now. So just another 3 minutes to go before we start today's session. So let's start to increase the pace a little bit more. Also, if you know anyone else that you think would benefit from this training, please let them know. It's always good to share what works well. So if you know anyone who was in a similar position to you when you very first started back in week one, let them know, and hopefully that they'll be able to get into it just like you have done and complete their sessions and get to where you have got to. And if you haven't already, please look at my Facebook and Instagram page. So just look at Simon Minting Audio Training. Please give me a like and share as well if you know anyone that you think that would benefit from this. Also, if you've got any pictures of you doing your workouts, of any snapshots of your GPS data, it'd be great to see how you're doing on your sessions. And also that will also help motivate people as well to compare how they've got on compared to you. So please share how you're getting on and share the experience with everybody. So we're coming up to our 3rd minute now, so let's start to increase the pace a little bit further, and then the final minute we'll decrease it back down again. So during this 30 minutes, I'm going to be with you every step of the way, just like I've been through all the other sessions. So we will do this together, we'll complete this. I will motivate you the whole way through. I'll also let you know how much time is left and how much time has gone. So there's no need for you to keep looking at your watch to see how you're doing. I will let you know how you are doing with the time. So you just keep going. Try and remember everything that I've mentioned in the other episodes. So think about your form, your style. Try and keep as relaxed as you can. Try not to go off too hard. Let's try and keep that steady pace going. And if you are a little bit cautious, there's no reason why you can't start off a little bit slower and build up through the 30 minutes and finish stronger than how you started. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, but just try to avoid going off too hard and tire. Okay? Right, so we're coming into our last minute now, so just 1 more minute to go. So let's start to decrease that pace, just a little bit slower. Still keep moving, don't stop. Just slow it down, just catch your breath. And prepare yourself, not only physically, but also mentally, and get yourselves ready to start this last session. So it's 30 minutes, remember, all together, no rest. Now, there's no reason why you can't do this. You have done so well up to this point. We have run further in some of the previous sessions with those breaks thrown in the middle. The last session we did 34 minutes in total of running with 4 minutes recovery. So there's no reason why you can't complete this 30 minutes as long as you get that pace right. So we can do this. You've done all the hard work, all the training up to this point. Let's get this done and then it's all completed. So are we all ready? We're off in 10 seconds. Deep breaths. 5, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So off we go. So this is it. This is what we've been working to for the last 8 weeks. Today we are doing this 30 minutes of continuous running at the pace that's right for you. So set yourselves a good pace and let's just hold this speed. I'm going to let you know every minute how we're getting on, how much time has gone and how much time is remaining. So you just keep going at this pace. It's a great start. Well done. Just keep nice and relaxed. So you're more than capable of doing a session now. We have built up really gradually over the 8 weeks, progressing you nicely, getting you up to this stage now where you're ready to hold this pace with no breaks for the 30 minutes. So well done. You've done really well. Now let's complete this and finish the program. So that is 1 minute gone already. Keep going. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes to get into the rhythm and find the correct pace for you. So if you do have a GPS watch on, or you're on a treadmill, or you're running around a track, you've got a good idea about the pace that you've gone. So just try and keep it nice and comfortable for now. Sometimes it's very tempting to go off quite fast and too hard, especially if you're quite keen or you've got adrenaline in the system, but you just got to really keep it nice and steady to begin with. You don't want to go off too hard. Ideally, if we can keep it fairly steady and consistent, that is what we're really looking for. But if you're a little bit cautious and you're not too sure, there's nothing wrong with starting off slow and building your way through as the time goes. So that is 2 minutes down now. Keep going. Like all these sessions, I'm doing it with you. So I'm with you every step of the way. So you just keep focused on the run in and I'll motivate you and let you know how much time's gone. So you just keep going and we'll get through this together. And you're not alone, there's other people doing this program as well who have got up to where you've got to as well. So think of that as well. You're doing this with people, even though they're not with you right now, they're still with you somewhere else, somewhere around the world, doing the same program and doing the same distance as you or the time that you're doing right now. So we're coming up to 3 minutes soon, nearly there. Hopefully by now you've settled into a bit more of a rhythm and you've got the right pace for you. 3 minutes down. Same with the breathing rate. Sometimes when you first start off, you feel a little bit out of breath, but then as you get into it, you get more into that regular breathing rhythm and it all settles down. That's why it's really important to do a good warm up, just to prepare yourselves so you're ready to go and you're not warming up in your actual session. So it's a great start, well done. So it's not much of a progression from last week. So last week we did 27 minutes in our continuous run. So it's just adding an extra 3 minutes on to last week. So let's just try and hold the same pace as what you did then. Just add on those extra 3 minutes. So that's 4 minutes down now. If it helps, rather than thinking of the whole of the 30 minutes, break it down into smaller sections. So if it works better for you, just think of 5-minute sections or 10 minutes or 15. And then you can just focus on each section and then you can just try and match the next section to the previous one that you've just done and try and equal the same speed if you can. So whatever works best for you. We're all different, we all have different motivations. Sometimes some people want to just focus on the whole lot. That's fine. For me, I like to break it down so it doesn't feel so daunting and too much to take on at one go. We're all different, so whatever motivates you and keeps you going, do that. And that comes with experience as you find out what's best for you. So that's 5 minutes down now. So if you're working in 5-minute chunks, that's the first 5 minutes complete. So now let's think about matching the next 5 minutes. So I'd love to hear about how you've got on in this program. How have you found the 8 weeks? How have you found the progressions? So the plan was originally that we started off with a repetition session of smaller amounts of time, and then we did a pyramid based session, and then we did some longer repetition sessions, and then through this 8 weeks, the first session, the smaller reps have got longer in time and shorter amounts of repetitions. So the start of this week where we did 4 lots of 8 minutes, which is a progression on from when we started in week 1 with those 8 lots of 1 minutes. So that's 6 minutes down, keep going. And then that pyramid session, originally we started with just 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, then back down 2 and 1. And now we've built up to in our last session where we did 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, with less recovery in between. We had 30 seconds recovery instead of our, what did we have? We had 2 minutes, didn't we? 2 minutes in between. So really good progression there. And then obviously with this long steady run that we're continuously doing now, originally we started with 2 lots of a longer distance, or what was a longer distance at the time. So we started with 2 lots of 4 minutes, and we progressed up the time, and then eventually got to just 1 longer distance rather than 2 lots. And then we built up all the way up to this, where we are right now, up to that 30 minutes of continuous work. So you've done really well, progressed nicely. That's 7 minutes down. So that is the important thing about improving, is just try and do it little steps over the weeks. Try not to rush into it. A lot of people when they're beginners, they go out too fast or too hard or too long in their first few sessions, and then obviously it hurts, it's tiring, you've got sore muscles afterwards, and then that prevents them from going out again because they're not fully recovered to go, or they didn't enjoy it, or they didn't feel it was a nice feeling getting to that point. So that's why it's really important to do something like this program, where you have gradually improved and increased. So you've just done it very finely to get up to where we've got up to. If I got you to do this 30 minutes in say week 2 or week 3, you would have really struggled. 8 minutes down. So that's why we've done it over 8 weeks, 3 sessions each week, having that recovery in between. This is what you need to do, okay? Don't rush into it and just do it gradually. So let me know anyway, how did you find that? Did you find the progression work well for you? Did you find that the weeks didn't get harder even though we progressed because you got fitter? Which ones did you enjoy the most or not enjoy the most? Or which ones did you find the hardest or the easiest? Did you prefer the repetition sessions or the shorter reps or the longer reps? Or the pyramids? Or the steady continuous runs? So it'd be great to hear from you and find out how you got on and how you've improved. So coming up to 9 minutes now. Time is going. 9 minutes now. So I often find with longer runs, after say about 10 minutes into it, you tend to kind of switch off and you forget about the time and how much time's gone, and time seems to go a lot quicker. So that's why it's just important just to try and forget too much about what's left and just keep focused on what you're doing, and these minutes will just tick down really quickly, and before you know it, you'll be nearly there, and then after that you'll be done. So just keep going, keep relaxed, keep loose. Remember, I'm with you every step of the way. I'm doing this as well. Keep going. So we're already coming up to our 10-minute mark. Just a few more seconds to go. So that's 10 minutes down now. So if you're working in 10-minute efforts, that's one done. You've got 2 more to go, okay? If you're working for 5-minute efforts, that's 2 down. So we've got 20 minutes left. Let's keep it going. So with all these sessions, it's really good to revisit them and do them again. So this is a great one if you want to use this one as a time trial, especially if you're a little bit cautious at the start and you don't know sort of what pace you want to go. You can do it. Give yourself a good rest. Try and record down the time, whether you've done that through a GPS watch or you've plotted it on the map or you've done it on the treadmill or you've done laps of the track, whatever way you want to do it, that's fine, as long as you've got a way of recording it. And then you can see if you can beat it. If you're doing a route, I suggest you do the same route again, because if you're doing more hilly routes, you might be a bit more disappointed if you're slowing down for the hill. So it doesn't matter if you do it on a hilly route, but as long as, if you are going to repeat, try and do the same route as before. Try and keep the environment the same. So if it was a still day before, try and keep it still again, not windy, or if it was cold, bear that in mind. So just think about how you did it before and try and match it up if you can. So over 11 minutes gone now. You're doing really well. Keep it going. Same with the time of day. That often plays a part in people's running and training. Some people run and race better in the morning, some in the afternoon, some in the evening, and everyone's different. And it's generally to do with your day-to-day life, whether it's work or looking after the children or whatever. 12 minutes gone, keep going. So this has got to fit in around your life. So find the times that works best for you and when you're feeling at your best. If you've had a tough night, whether it's like you've been on a late shift at work or you've been up all night looking after the kids, just bear that in mind. It might be best for you to train in the afternoon or the evening. Give yourself a bit more of a recovery. Not only physically, but mentally. You've got to be mentally alert as well as physically. So just bear all those factors in mind when you set yourselves a target and something to aim to do. Pick the right time for you. So we're coming up to 13 minutes soon. You're doing really well. Another 2 minutes and then we're halfway through. So that's 13 now. Keep going. So you have done so well. So just keep it going. What an improvement. You've done really well. And if you know anyone else that you think would benefit from this, whether they're a beginner or that they're just getting back into running, or they've been off with an injury and they want a sort of a gradual, slow progression, please let them know. Let them know how you've got on, how you found it. What I've tried to do with my sessions is give it a variety. There's no repeated sessions at all. You're not doing the same session. So that's given it a bit of variety and working your fitness in different ways, working for different amounts of time. So hopefully you found that was good. So please let me know and let anyone else know as well. So we're coming up to 14 minutes now. So 1 more minute to go and we're halfway. So if you're working in 15-minute blocks or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, we've got a big section coming up soon and we're coming up to that halfway mark. Just keep going. Just keep it relaxed. Remember all the points I've mentioned to you over the weeks about your form. Keep it nice and loose. Try not to tense up. That tension will travel all through the body. If you tense up your fists, that will go up through your arm, into your shoulders, into your chest, into your core. And you don't want to run rigid like that. You want to keep it nice and loose and easy flowing. So big moment coming up soon in 10 seconds. We're nearly halfway. Halfway. Now, so if you're on an out and back, this is your time to turn around. If you're not on an out and back and you're just doing a loop somewhere, it's always still good, I think, to visualize that you're coming home now. You're at your furthest point out. Every step back now is a step closer to home. It's always a really nice feeling, I think, when you know you're in the second half and it's gonna get shorter now than we did in the first half. You're over the halfway point. Keep going. So back to the form. Remember to drive those arms forwards and backwards and try to avoid the arms going across the body. Don't do it now, but if you're ever out on a jog or just an easy run, just try and run badly, just for a few minutes, just to see how it feels. Just over exaggerate. So if you just try bringing those arms across the body, which is what we're obviously avoiding doing, you will feel that you'll start to rotate from side to side from the core and your hips. That is a complete waste of energy, okay? We do not want to be using up our energy and pushing our momentum side to side. We want to be going forward. So once you do it, you can really feel why I keep saying to you, forwards and back, not across. Try not to avoid rotating. Also, it's going to change your leg movement. You're going to push your knees from side to side, which again isn't very efficient, and it also over long periods of time could cause injury to the hips or your knees or your ankles and your feet if you're doing a rotation as you're running. So let's make our running as efficient as possible. If you can get those smaller points done, your running is going to flow a lot easier and more efficiently. So that's 17 minutes down. All that chatting, a few more minutes have been ticking away, so that's it. Good, keep going. You're working really well. And remember the legs as well. Don't overstride, but at the same time, don't do short strides. So go what's the right stride length for you, but just bear that in mind that you don't want to be doing little pitter-patter foot strides. By raising the knee, you naturally will lengthen your stride length. Getting the knees up, less time on the floor. But again, you don't want to be doing these big bounds, which is going to waste energy as well. So try and think about that. Coming up to 18 minutes soon. So you're ready. That's 18 minutes down now. So again, that's another thing that you can try to do on your training runs. Just try not raising your knees and see what happens, and try raising the knees and see how it feels differently. That's why the drills are really good that we can do to help you with the stride length. So doing some drills of high knees where you're just jogging on the spot, really emphasizing the knee lift, is a great way to train the body mentally as well as physically, to get those really good techniques in place. And same with doing some big strides in a warm-up. So try and do those and see the difference. Doing really well. So we're nearly at the 19-minute mark now. Come on, keep it going. You're doing so well here. So when we first started, when we went from 2 longer reps to 1 long rep, that was back in week 5. It's 19 minutes down now, well done. We went for 20 minutes for our first long run. Okay, we went from week 4 when we did 2 lots of 12 minutes to week 5 where we did 1 lot of 20 minutes. So we're nearly there to where we got to before. So that just goes to show how close we are now to the finish. We're nearly there, coming into the final bit now. And how well you've progressed. Do you remember how it felt when you did that 20 minutes? Were you tired? Were you out of breath? It's always good to make a note of not only what you've done, but also how it felt, how you found it. How did it feel? So we're coming up to that 20-minute mark now. So I'm hoping now, a couple of weeks, few weeks later, that you're now feeling a lot better than you did when you finish that 20 minutes. 20 minutes down, 10 minutes to go. Really good work. Our last third, 2/3 complete, 1/3 to go. So let's focus on getting to that 25-minute mark. So let's put all our efforts and attention onto the next 5 minutes. Let's try and hold this pace. This is a bit of a crucial part of the run now. I often say it to you when we're doing our penultimate repetition, where we've still got a bit of a way to go, but we're nearly there as well at the same time. So this is the time now just to keep focus on that pace, because once we get this last section, which is in front of us, out of the way, we then got our final bits, our final push to the end. So keep going, keep focused on all those points. Often when we get tired, that's 21 minutes gone. Often when we get tired, that's when your form does go. So let's just keep going in your mind about all those points. The more you focus on it, the more you do, the more you will naturally do it anyway. But sometimes if you've got sort of a bad habit, it takes a little bit longer to correct. That's why it's important just to keep going each run and going over those points until you retrain the body to be more efficient and effective. So filming is also a very good way. So possibly film yourself running, or maybe get someone to run next to you and just film in front of you and sideways as well if you can, just to see how you're looking, because sometimes you're not even aware of what you're doing. Doing really well. So we're coming up to 22 minutes now. 8 minutes to go. So in that week 8 session 1, we did 4 lots of 8 minutes. So just think, it's just one more repetition of that to go. It's been a great week this week. That 8-minute session that we did 32 minutes of running with 3 minutes of walking in between. So 35 minutes in total, plus obviously a warm up and cool down, 45 minutes with that included. And then we did our longest session in the last session, which was that pyramid, where we did 34 minutes of running with 4-minute breaks in between of the 30 seconds, which led us up to 38 minutes, and then plus our warm up cool down, 48. And then obviously today we're taking on this 30 minutes of continuous work with no breaks. So it's been a really, really good week of training to get you to this point. So you've done really well. It's been a hard week, but you're nearly there. So that is 23 minutes down, 7 minutes to go. Keep going. Let's focus on the next 2 minutes, and then we're in our last 5 minutes. When it gets harder and you want it and you really want to work hard, that's when we do tend to tense up. And when form does go and you think you're working really hard and really well, but actually by doing that, you're going to slow down. So that's why when it starts to get a little bit harder and you get a bit more tired, which might be where you are now, or you might be feeling seen, that's why it's important just to keep it loose. And trust me, you might think you're going slower by doing so, but you won't, because you're not tensing up. So we're coming up to 24 minutes. This is going really quickly. You're doing really well. So I'm hoping that you've paced it well. 24 minutes now. If you have, well done, really good work. That does come with time. As you become more experienced, you get to know your body and how it should feel. How should the breathing feel? How the legs are feeling as well. So you always know if you're going off too hard or too fast or too slow, or if you got it just right. So that comes with time, is knowing your body and how it should feel over different distances. But that does come with time. Hopefully you're there now. You know a bit more about how it should feel. Often when we're beginners, we don't realise that even though we're breathing heavily or your legs start to tire, that doesn't mean that you stop. And we learn that we still can keep going, even though we are getting a little bit more tired. So hopefully you've got it right. So we're coming into our last 5 minutes now. 5 minutes to go. If you have been a bit cautious and you've gone off a little bit slow, that is really not a problem, okay? It's better to do that than going off too hard. But now we're in our last 5 minutes. This is the time now that you can think about increasing the pace for the final bit, right to the end. Still time to get a good 5 minute effort in and increase your average pace that you went or improve on your distance that you've run. And then that gives you a good benchmark to beat next time if you're going to repeat it. Keep going. We're nearly at the 6 minute mark now. Really good work. Deep breaths. Fill the lungs with oxygen. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. So 6 minutes, so 26 minutes down now, 4 minutes to go. And if you have gone off too hard, don't worry, just keep going. We are only 4 minutes away now. So if you need to slow it down for the final bit, there's nothing wrong with doing that. If you went off too fast at the start, just think you got that extra effort in at the beginning, which means that you can afford to go slower now. So maybe think of it like that as the reverse of going off too slow. And you'll learn through that as well. You'll know next time that, oh, I did get a bit excited and I went off a bit hard. And then next time, you'll know a bit more about how it should have gone. So don't worry, just keep going. I know it's a hard way to run it when it feels tough and you have to slow down, but it's all part of the learning process, and then we can go again and do it another time. So we are coming up to 27 minutes. 27 minutes down now. We've got 3 minutes to go. It's hardly any time now. So nearly there now. So if you've enjoyed these sessions, the best advice I would give you is keep going, okay? Don't stop. You don't want to just go from this fitness level that you've achieved to just stopping, because you will go back. Your body, unfortunately, will start to become more unfit, and you will find it a little bit harder if you do stop entirely. So just try and keep your fitness level going and try and improving. You will find that it might be smaller improvements to when you first started. Normally at the start, when you're a beginner, you have these big improvements at the start, but as you become fitter and fitter and stronger, they become smaller as you go. But keep going and keep motivated. Repeat the sessions if there was any you particularly liked. It's 28 minutes gone, 2 minutes to go. So yeah, repeat any that you liked, and also look at my other podcast, Simon Minting Audio Training, available as a podcast on various different podcast platforms. So please check that out. Very similar sessions, lots of interval works that you can do. Some long reps, some short, some a bit of a mixture. All different levels of abilities as well. Can do those. There's specific sessions for beginners and advanced. So just find a good one that you want to do and keep up the good work. We are so nearly there now. Just over a minute to go. So let's finish strong, okay? Let's bring this one in now. Imagine that you're in that race. We're going to finish off with a minute of visualization. Talk about that as we get ourselves to the end now. And then we've completed it. So, ready? A minute to go now. So come on, let's finish strong. Imagine you're in that race. You're a minute away from the finish line now. Let's bring this in right to the end. Every second counts. Every effort that you put in is going to lead to a second quicker each time you put that effort in. Just think of it like that. Keep going, come on. Imagine that you're pulling away from the people that were around you. They're getting slower, they're tiring, and you're catching someone up. 30 seconds away now. You can probably see the finish line now. Come on, keep going. You've caught that person up now. You're now heading towards the finish line strong. Come on, nearly there. 15 seconds away. Let's hold on. Let's hold this pace right to the end. You're going to do it. 10 seconds. Really, really good work. Come on. 5, 3, 2, 1, done. So well done, you have done it. You have completed the 30 minutes of continuous running. Really, really good work. You should be feeling so proud of yourself, and what you have achieved is brilliant. How you've progressed over the 8 minutes has been really good work. So superb effort. So one last time, let's just do an easy cool down, a nice gentle walk, just for 5 minutes, just to ease you down nice and gradually. And then that is it. You have completed the outer condition to mint condition program. Superb work. So the really important message to tell you now is, now that you've completed this, don't stop. Keep going. Don't regress. You want to keep going and progress your fitness and improve on your speed as much as you can. So there's no reason why you can't revisit any of these sessions. If there's any sessions that you've particularly enjoyed, definitely give those a go and see if you can go a further distance than you did the first time around. As you know, the first few weeks we started off with the shorter repetitions. So if you wanted a quicker, shorter session and you're looking more for a speed-based session, maybe check those ones out. If you're looking more of a steady state session, then maybe check those out as well. Or if you're just looking for a continuous run, why not check out one of those steady state sessions that we've done. So today we did the 30 minutes. Last week we did the 27 minutes. Then the week before we did the 25 minutes. And then the week before that we did 20 minutes. So if you fancy one of those as well, there's no reason why you can't do those. And just see if you can go a greater distance on those. I also do have another podcast out there as well, so please just search for Simon Minting Audio Training and you'll see my other podcast, which is various different workouts, very similar to this. They're all interval-based sessions, so if you like me motivating you, telling you when to start and stop, when to recover, please check those out. There's lots of different types of sessions. There's some which are shorter, speedy sessions, and there are some that are a little bit longer. Some that are specifically for beginners, intermediate or advanced, and there's also some where they've got different progressions in the session, so they're suitable for all different levels. So please check those out and give those a go as well. I love to hear from you, so please let me know how you've gotten through the 8 weeks. Give me some feedback. How did you find the progressions? Which sessions did you like? Did you like the shorter, speedy ones, or did you prefer the long sessions, or did you like the intervals with the pyramids? Please let me know which ones you like. I am planning to update my other podcasts with various different sessions on, so any feedback that I get, I can tailor in towards the next few sessions, which will be coming soon. So let me know what you like doing. So we're coming into our final 2 minutes now. So I just wanted to recap over everything that I've mentioned over the last few weeks. Interval training is really important. Really good way to get fit. It will improve your stamina. It'll improve your strength and your endurance. You'll lose weight. You'll get a more efficient and effective heart. It will also help relieve any stress, anxiety, depression. So there's lots of benefits from doing interval sessions. Your sessions will also be a little bit more quicker, won't take up as much time, and you'll get your results quicker as well. So please bear that all in mind and keep your training going. Also remember ways to recover. So I've mentioned about resting, eating well, drinking the right fluids, try to avoid alcohol, make sure you're getting lots of rest with sleep as well. And also look after your body, whether that's massage, foam rolling, stretching, but do that as well just to help you recover and prevent any injury. I've also mentioned about the good technique of running, so please bear that in mind when you're running as well. So just remember those arms driving forwards and back. Remember those knees, get the knees nice and high, engage the core muscles, try to avoid being stiff, so don't tense up, keep as relaxed and make your running as fluid as possible. So all those tips I've shared with you, put into practice, keep your fitness going and keep improving as you go. It's been really good training with you over the last 8 weeks. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. and I look forward to training you with it again very soon in the not too distant future. Goodbye.